What is up, YouTube, and welcome to episode 22 of the Chaos Daily. Pretty casual day for me today. Yeah, yesterday was a bit difficult. Making the decision to put the Draco on hold, it was not easy. So today it was a bit more casual. I was just enjoying myself without the weight of the Draco on my shoulders. It just felt more free. I just felt more free to work on the long easy and just focus on that. So I got a whole load of work of that done. There'll be a time lapse for you in a moment for that. I pretty much turned the plane into Swiss cheese, and the weight, the weight is so low. I managed to get the weight down, like estimating the all-up flying weight of the aircraft, including the carbon fiber spars and everything, to be about 400 grams. Then you plus the 300 and 400 for the EDF, and then the 400 for the battery, and you're looking at 1.2 kilograms all-up flying weight. It'll probably be closer to about a kilogram. Between a kilogram and 1.1. We'll see. Towards the end of the day, when I stopped recording, I started working on the servo placement for those elevons, and where I wanted to put them underneath the EDF at the back, there isn't quite enough space to get them in there and still have enough throw for the control horns. So I'm thinking I might actually push them forward and just make longer linkages to the elevon tubes. The longer linkages, it just means that it'll be easier for you to install the servos when you're assembling the plane and stuff, and access them for maintenance and stuff. It's just less hassle. So I think I'm going to move them forward just before the next bulkhead or after the next bulkhead and put them in the next compartment, which is the ESC. I'm still going to tuck underneath the EDF. There's still going to be room in there for that. Let's jump into the time. Let's have a look at what I've done, and at the end of it I will jump into Inventor and I will show you guys what I'm talking about and see what you think. yeah, there you go. I severely brought the weight down. I literally turned the plane into Swiss cheese. There is just holes everywhere. This is I think the Pope might be giving me a call. So yeah. Anyways, let's talk about those servos because I want some feedback. I want some opinions. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a good idea, bad idea? Let me know once I explain what the issue is and how I want to do it. So let's jump into Inventor. And so what I was trying to do is find a way to fit them in here, and there's not quite enough room. It's too tight. Too tight. It's pretty tight. So they're not going in here. But your ESC can fit in there, and there's the hole for it to run from the pylon that comes from the motor pylon thing. So your wires from the motor come down through here, and you can connect them up to your ESC in this little hole. And this hole is part of the alignment system for the EDF mount and everything. So that's still to be done, and that's okay. That's all good. Oh, by the way, this is the entire tail section. This will all print in one go. If you're curious as to how big this is, let's see if I can get a measurement. This is actually just going to give me an angle, isn't it? Yeah, 10 degrees. Minimum distance. At the shortest point here, I think, it's like 124 millimeters. So yeah, it's pretty skinny. It's pretty skinny. If we measure from here to here, it's 50 mils. It's narrow. So you see why I'm having some issue getting some servos in there. There's not exactly enough room for the servos. The tubes for the elevons come through this gap here and this one here, and they meet here and here. So they'll come out to the center somewhere here, and there's room for you to access the control horns on the tube to hook up the control horn linkage, the wire or whatever you use. And then I'm thinking those come through this section and hook up to I'm either going to put the servos behind this bulkhead so that they sit on the inside here, or they'll go on the next section. This is the next section before you get to the battery tray section. You know what? Let me show you guys the different parts of this plane so that we can get an idea of how this thing goes together and where everything goes. We have the nose cone. This is the canard section. This is all out where if you later on you want to put the canards on the elevator, this is where the servo and that will go in this section here, and this is where the canard carbon fiber tube comes through. And then we got the fuselage mid-skin, or the mid-section, and then the aft mid. So you got your fore mid and your aft mid. These are the two middle sections of the plane, and the plane actually comes apart on this face. So the front section of the plane and the back section of the plane splits here when you want to access your batteries and everything. So this is the battery tray section, and it splits down this line that you see here. Let's select one of them so that it's a little easier, like so and that. So those are the two parts. So the plane comes apart on that seam. And your battery will sit in the front section, and then you'll have your transmitter and all that sort of stuff here. So I'm thinking on this section here of putting the servos mounts in here somewhere, which will be very accessible if I open up this back hole like I've got here. So mounting the servos in here and then hooking them up to the linkages here that run through to the elevons. I don't know. I think it would be better to mount the servos in the aft section in the tail, rather than putting them in the aft core. Let me know what you guys think. I'm a little bit, on the fence about where to put these servos and how to mount them. Servo placement, and so that, your linkages don't bind and all that stuff is pretty important. So I would like some feedback. Let me know what you guys think. You guys have more experience with this. So I'd love to hear what you think. And we can get this right the first time. That pretty much covers it. Not much to go over. I really just need to think about where to put those servos now. I want to hear what you guys have to think, so we'll just leave it alone for now and work it out. I'll carry on working on the rest of the plane as far as actually assemble geometry goes. So putting in register tabs and stuff, so after it prints and you can just line stuff up and glue it together. Just little stuff like that. We're actually pretty close. These parts are now getting almost to the point where I will start combining them into their individual sections and then exporting them out into individual part files, and then exporting the STLs, and then running it into Shooterbox, and then I'll be sending it over to Simon to have a look at as well. Yeah, this should be fun. So yeah, let me know what you think about those servos. It's a pretty big deal. I don't want to screw that up. Anyways, I'll be Chaos, and as always, expect the unexpected, and I'll see you guys next time. And a special thank you to all my patrons that help support the channel. If you would also like to support the channel, there's a link in the description.